Hi, Terry.
Hello, Angeli.
How are you?
I am well today. How are you?
Good.
Glad to hear it. I sense you have a question.
I do, as always.
And I'm preparing myself, but go ahead. Let's try.
Maybe you don't know the question, or maybe you do, so we'll just have to give it a try.
Is it an easy one or a big one?
That depends.
Well, let's see.
So the question I have is, what is the nature of reality?
What is the nature of reality? Well, one can answer that from any number of points of departure. And I guess I would, for a quick answer, grab the Hindu trinity of Sat Chit and Ananda, of being, consciousness, and beatitude, or joy. That's, I think, a suitable description of the essence of reality. But finally, whether you stick to philosophical terms or spiritual terms or physical terms, you eventually run out of being able to use terms. And the nature of reality is necessarily outside of your ability to describe it. Because you inevitably end up with thoughts and language which are part of this thing you're trying to describe. So that's a path that really, finally, is interesting, but doesn't lead to a definitive answer within the context in which it is asked.
That's interesting. Have you ever had a conversation with someone about reality?
Yes, I have. And it's one of my favorite conversations of all time. And it was with my friend Larry, who had described something, he was describing something, and he used the word real in the sentence. And I said to him, Larry, what do you mean real? And he looked at me and said, what do you mean? And that pretty much settled the question for me.
That's well said. So how would you, if reality can't be described by language, how can one understand it?
Well, understand is probably not the right term, because understand is a
Act.
Yes, exactly, and is often a subject-object term, that one understands something, so there is something, and there's necessarily a separation between I who understand and the thing that is being understood. In everyday speech, that's fine. But finally, the only way to understand reality, let's say to know reality. The only way to know reality is to know it personally and experientially, and not through language or forms or formulae, but to know it personally and intimately and immediately, which is where it is.
How can one differentiate between an experience that's real and an experience that's not real?
Well, one has to use some sort of external referent, which is necessarily problematic, because things always maintain their own reality at their own level. So a dream seems like it's unreal unless you're in the dream, in which it seems very real. Everyday life seems very real, because here we are having this conversation. But stepping outside of that, it's another relative real. So as long as you can talk about something, finally, it's not real.
So would you say the object and subject attributes are things that make something unreal?
I think that's often true. The more something is an object of speech, consciousness, or whatever, it's not finally real, because if it were real, it would be included in the same subject. So that kind of dual differentiation is a tip-off.
Right. Well, thank you.
I hope that's of some help with your big question.
It is. Thank
Good.
you.